Hey, I'm Hunt, and this is Hunt on LSU, your channel for LSU Fighting Tiger football talk. Enjoy the video. We want you to leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe right below the video. Enjoy.
It's week by week, but one thing I try to do is no matter what the performance, the good and the bad, it doesn't translate to now. So, I mean, whatever we did on offense last week or the past couple weeks doesn't translate to Missouri. So we got that on to the next mentality because if you keep trying to live in the past, you're not in the present or anything like that.
That's Jayden Daniels, LSU's quarterback, who has done an awesome job thus far. And, one of the things I worry about with college athletes is confidence, intensity, desire when things go south. And unfortunately, we've had this conversation now 4 years in a row. I mean, you could clearly look at LSU after the Tennessee game last year and go, man, I wonder if these kids are gonna step up. You could absolutely look at LSU 2 years ago after you lose to UCLA and there's a bunch of stuff circling around your head coach, and you lose to Kentucky and your coach gets fired, and you're like, okay, are they going to be fired up and ready to go? You can look at a team who's 3 years ago, their best player, Jamar Chase, opts out, and your quarterback gets hurt, and there's nobody in the stands, and now all of a sudden you've lost a bunch of games in a row, and are you going to show up and play and respond? What's your confidence level? What's your energy level? How well are you going to respond to adversity? I always question that in college athletes. Now, the vast majority of the time, college athletes do respond really well. I've only seen a couple of teams that I thought just flat waved the white flag. LSU certainly didn't in any of those years. They came back and won big games late in all those years. Huge late wins against Ole Miss and Florida in 2020. An awesome come-from-behind last-second win against A&M the next year. Last year, they went on a run and beat Alabama and won the West. So most of the time, kids respond, but you worry about it. But that all kind of circles around the defense at this point. I don't think there's a confidence issue in the offense, and Jayden Daniels was asked about just how high that confidence level is. Then let's go with the hype surrounding Jayden Daniels.
I mean, I just give thanks to God for everything. Without him, I wouldn't be in this position. I give thanks to my teammates, the O-line, everybody, just believing in me, making plays. But I mean, on a day-to-day basis, I mean, you hear stuff like that, but, you can't really listen to the noise, listen to the hype, because as soon as you start believing in that, that's when God will humble you.
We're talking about a guy in Jayden Daniels who would, if LSU held Ole Miss last week to 28 points, Jayden Daniels would be squarely in the mix in Heisman discussions. That's where they would be labeling him. Now, I don't know. Maybe there are some people that are talking about Jayden Daniels winning the Heisman. I'm not hearing them. But if LSU wins that game 48-21 and plays great defense, you're talking about a guy who went to Mississippi State in the game that was right after game day and just lit it up, and then came back and made the plays necessary to win a shootout against Arkansas, and then rolled up 50 points at Ole Miss. But unfortunately, because the defense gagged and played the worst game in the history of the school, all of a sudden you look up and you go, well, LSU's already got 2 losses. They're a 3-2 football team. That's not where the Heisman Trophy generally comes from. But his level of play has been that good, and it's been thanks in part, small part, big part, in part, some part due to Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas.
Special players, it's a blessing to play with those guys. It was such a talent. Brian Thomas, that big of a guy who could be able to move like that. Malik, being explosive like that. Getting those guys the ball in their hand. And they make plays. They make tough contested catches. So I'm blessed to be able to play with them. They come to me. They get man on man, one-on-one coverage, man to man. They want the ball. Just giving them a chance to go make a play. And 9 times out of 10 they're going to make it.
LSU's offenses are always the best when you have a receiver duo that just rolls off the tongue. And you can go back 20-plus years doing that. I mean, this team is right now Neighbors and Thomas, and we'll see if they get themselves into that conversation. But clearly Jefferson and Chase did that. Clearly Beckham and Landry did that. In their time, Josh Reed and Michael Clayton were that. Devery Henderson was a great piece to that puzzle the following year. So, that's Bo and Doucette, I think, would probably fit into that mold as well. And hopefully these guys are in that breath because they've been awesome. But we expected that from Malik Neighbors. We expected him to be an all-conference, all-American, first-round potential pick type of guy, and he's been all of those things to this point. Brian Thomas, you were kind of waiting to. I was always saying, remember when Brian Thomas went up and made that play against Florida in the back of the end zone? Like, and we see him in practice doing some really athletic things with that frame, and he's really emerged. And yesterday, Daniels spoke specifically about Brian Thomas.
I mean, he just had the opportunity to go out there and play. Last year, he's kind of in that role of, rotating. This year, he attacked the offseason. We all did. Me, him, Malik, Kyron Lacey, even the young guys, they watched his work, and we just attacked the offseason, with how we wanted our season to be. We knew we had a special group, even from spring to fall to now. So it's all about, the work that we put in the offseason, it's showing up. We got to keep building on it, keep improving, keep getting better week in and week out.
They improved much on what they've done the last 3 weeks. That'll be something to behold. The LSU offense has been fantastic. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.